Welcome back to Callahan's Corner. I took a few day break here with the holidays, but back at it and wanted to answer a pre-submitted question that just came through today. And I think it's a big question in everybody's mind right now going into the fall season. And how do we go out and get our existing clients, especially in the northern markets, even some of the southern markets, how do we get them to go out and renew their services early for next year in 2020? So it's something we've been talking a lot about at Callahan's Corner. So I'm going to read the question and kind of dive into how to actually go out and do this. But what kind of promotions and deals are you guys offering this winter to get customers to sign up early? Been throwing a few ideas around like prepaid discount, but we don't want to encourage customers to sign up. But they also want to encourage customers to sign up for packages other than they usually do. Like we want fertilization customers to sign up for fertilization and mowing. What does work? So really good question. And the timing is perfect. So my opinion is right now, this is the time to go out and renew your services. So if you are watching live or the recorded version, make a comment on the video here and I'll send you a link to it. But I did a webinar that broke down how to actually renew your services and upsell additional services. So I'm going to break down the high level, but if you want some tactical information, make a note here in the Facebook Live comments, and I'll make sure you get a copy of that webinar that I did. It's a private webinar, so it's something that's not in the general public. But first part of the question is, how do we get them to renew early? I'm going to recommend we don't do discounts or prepaid discounts. A lot of reasons for that. But if you watch a video by Jonathan Potoshnik of the Lawn Care Millionaire, he breaks down the financial implications of a prepay. What I'm going to suggest is we want to go through our marketing and create a 2 to 3 step renewal process that we use in my lawn care company as well as with SimpleGrowth clients. And that's going to go out and create some urgency and scarcity and an added benefit for your existing clients. So we can go out and basically, as a renewing VIP customer, we want to make sure that we give you first chance at reserving a spot on our schedule. We don't overbook our schedules to make sure that there's a quality service and we're not rushing through the jobs. So this is your first chance as a reoccurring VIP customer to get on our list for next year. We save that spot to X amount of time for reoccurring clients that have been with us before. So we've set a perceived deadline of we're going to open the schedule up to everyone else. So if you want to save your spot on the season, there is urgency, a deadline, and there's scarcity. There's only a limited number of spots available. So that's going to be the process of going out and doing that renewal. So we set a deadline for VIP existing clients to guaranteed spot back on the schedule, and we're going to create a scarcity because we're not going to overbook our schedules. We're looking to add maybe 1 extra crew or 2 extra crews, whatever that looks like. Maybe you're not growing at all, but we're going to set the urgency and scarcity there. This is going to be done through different products or services of like renewal. So we're going to go out through via email, text, and potentially phone call to hit them in their journey. So obviously we're going to start out with the low-hanging fruit of an email and then a text message, all automated. And then eventually when they hit that threshold of the scarcity and urgency, so the deadline, we're going to have a task or a ticket or a to-do assigned to someone in your office to physically call out. Or if you don't want to make the phone call, we can do a thing called a ringless voicemail bomb. And it's a pre-recorded message. It's not a robocall, but it'd be like, hey, it's Mike from Callahan's. Just wanted to reach out. Sorry I missed you. Wanted to leave you this voicemail. We've got a very limited availability left in our schedule for 2021 going into next year. Reaching out to you as an existing client, a VIP, because I want to reserve that spot for you. So if you want to ensure that spot, please call our office back at this number or accept the online renewal that we sent you. So we've created an automated and systematic process. So best bet is get all the ones you can renewed before 2021 starts. I'm suggesting probably 80 to 85% of your client base in the north is what we saw. And then we hit them again about 2 to 3 months before the season ramps up again. But once again, urgency and scarcity. And we want to set those deadlines. So we're creating a process there. But the idea is we want to lock up at least 85, 95% of our client base now so we can focus on new growth and see a real good idea how many people are actually going to cancel before we go into next year, so we can take our churn, our cancellation, and build that into our new sales goal. So if we're looking at 100 new clients this year, and we lose 20, we really need to add 120 to actually fix the cancellation and the new growth goal per service. So that's going to give you some insight. So that's the renewal process. I would highly recommend, unless it's a cash flow issue and you absolutely need that cash to pre-buy, say, fertilization materials and things like that, I would not discount it. But if you're doing job costing reports and you're making your hourly goal, and say your hourly goal is $60 and higher per man hour, if you've hit that threshold, what you can do is literally say, another way I've seen it done with some success is if you renew before this time, there is the ability to avoid a 3% increase for the following year. So once again, that's another scarcity urgency play there. But I don't recommend raising the prices across the board, but that is a play to create some urgency to avoid that the late price increase. And then the second part of the question was, how do we go out and upsell ancillary services? So if you have been in any of the Facebook groups that we're in from the SimpleGrowth upsells, we're seeing our upsells that we run between 5 and 8 times a year, just like we did in my company. When we send out the upsell notification, just like the gentleman or lady asked, lady asked, and said, hey, well, how could, if I've got all my fertilizing customers and I want to upsell mowing or mowing to fertilizing, the upsell goes out to everybody in the system that doesn't have the service, doesn't have an estimate in progress, or doesn't have something scheduled like on a waiting list. And we're seeing anywhere from like 60 to 80 estimate requests literally in 4 to 6 hours. It's insane. But that is the process there. So you want to go in, and in the webinar, I talk about this. So if you're watching this live or recorded, put a comment in there and I'll make sure you get the webinar link. But the private webinar I did talked about this process. And what we're seeing is folks are selling 150, sometimes 200 mulch jobs or additional maybe 100 mowing jobs on this upsell process. But it's segmenting your database based on who has the service, who doesn't, who's canceled, and who has a lost estimate. And then the automated upsell goes out and works it when the time should happen. So I'm recommending between 5, preferably 8 upsells stretched out throughout the year based on the timing of the season. Going into holiday lights, it's a little on the late end, but most of our clients that use the SimpleGrowth automations have started upselling their holiday lights within the last month. And now their schedules are already fully booked to capacity. So if you're looking to upsell those services, segment your database and go out and see who has the service, who doesn't, if there's an estimate in play, and if it's a canceled or lost, lead on that estimate as well. Or if you want it done for you, drop me a private message and we can show you how we do that at SimpleGrowth. But I mean, the results have been very similar to what we had in my company when we originally called those service automations. But those upsells are driving well over 100 new estimates per service for the clients that we're working with. Very similar results that we saw in my own company. So comments or questions, drop below. Hopefully that answers your question though. Scarcity, urgency to force that renewal early with an automated process via omni-channel marketing. That's a new term that we're going to be using a lot, omni-channel marketing. And that's going to be going over email, text, and phone calls and Facebook Messenger. So we're going different channels to get them to renew. And then if they hit a certain threshold before that deadline of opening the schedule up to the general public, we're going to be making a phone call or a ringless voicemail bomb. And then we're going to systematically create 5 to 8 upsells throughout the year, hopefully automate them. So when it should happen, it happens without you having to do it. And traditionally, it's the busy time of year and we forget to do the upsells, or we're too busy to do the upsells. Now it's set on autopilot. It hits June 15th or whatever that is. And that automatic upsell process happens. It ends up right in your email inbox and you just work that list. So comments, questions, drop below. Callahan's Corner. You ask the questions, we answer them live right here on Facebook. We'll see you again tomorrow with another pre-submitted question.